I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's one of the reasons why I think I blew up. I look at a lot of young people now and it's like, yo, it's not enough for you to really do God's will. It's like, you gotta let other people know you're doing it.
Come on.
And I didn't have that. Like, I didn't have that struggle.
Yeah.
Put on his leg, I'm coming in high, I'm coming in quick, got what I got, I'm so content, he calling me Blade, running up chicks, running up, loving that flex, been on that marathon nail, I run at my pace, they loving the spread, foot on his neck.
What's going on, family? It is Quintrell Lenore, Q, your favorite career coach, back with another video. So one of my favorite thought leaders is Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher. If you haven't already, I think this is a really good read, UOU by Dr. Eric Thomas. One of the things that I think for us as professionals, where we get stuck, and I really feel like we as professionals have a lot that we have to offer, and we get stuck in, what's the next level in our career, or maybe what is my why, what is my purpose, or maybe it's like, I see this ceiling, how can I crack that ceiling, right? I love the idea of us as professionals being entrepreneurs, being coaches, being authors, right? And so one of those thought leaders is Eric Thomas. So I want you to tune in, because he has some gems that I really think will be helpful for us to take a look at.
How did the career side start to flesh itself out? Because you're born 1970, is that correct?
Yeah.
So you didn't really hit my radar until about, I think when I first started seeing you go, it was like when the internet, Web 2.0 exploded. I started, but you were already working with at-risk youth. You were already immersed in some ministry stuff. So walk us through some of that.
Thanks a ton for checking out this video. But listen, most of you all that are watching my videos are not actually subscribed to my channel. I need your help. Hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and like the content, engage with me, write a comment. It's gonna help me to grow this channel. And more importantly, it's gonna help me to help others align purpose in their dreams, callings, and careers. Subscribe to the channel, fam. Let's do it.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's one of the reasons why I think I blew up. I look at a lot of young people now and it's like, yo, it's not enough for you to really do God's will. It's like, you gotta let other people know you're doing it.
Come on.
And I didn't have that. Like, I didn't have that struggle.
Yeah.
It was no internet. So it was like, nobody's supposed to know that you're doing it, but the people you touching and impacting.
Right.
So for me, I thought I was.
Bro, let's pause right there. Listen, we're in an information age, and there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons to that. When we're thinking about LinkedIn and social media, like, we are comparing ourselves way too much. We have this fear of being accepted, or is this the right thing to do, right? And so I love this call out by ET. It's like, whatever it is that we do, if you think about starting a business, you're coaching, you're writing a book, starting a podcast, whatever it is that you are putting your energy and sweat equity into, just do it. All right. And don't worry about the time that it takes, or, the feedback that you're going to get from other folks. Right. So I like this call out.
Was already not necessarily the best in the world, but I already thought it was dope that I got to do God's work.
Yeah.
And I got to do it with kids who were suffering with some of the same kind of stuff I was suffering with. So when I got to college, we had a ministry called Bell Tower. And the reason why we started is because we felt like, wow, we had a great opportunity to learn about God on campus. It was adults who was like adulting. And so, sometimes, man, when you start getting into religion.
So he's talking about like the why, right? And I think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm kind of nerding out a little bit, but like at the foundation of that pyramid, right? The top of the pyramid, you have, self-actualization, but at the bottom you have your basic needs, like, your physiological needs, safety. And then in the middle, you have like this sense of belonging. Those bottom ones are like, we need those, right? But for those of us that we have that in our world of work, no matter what we're doing professionally, like that's like kind of like not questionable. Now it's the why, it's the self-actualization, it's like the purpose behind it. And I think a lot of us get stuck there, right? A lot of us, are not privileged to actually even ask that question in the work that we do, right? A lot of us have to work to meet ends meet, right? To provide for ourselves and our family. So I'm not talking about that, right? The privilege of work is to be able to financially provide for yourself and your family. but there's levels of privilege, right? So what he's talking about is when he started this ministry, or just started, not just ministry, but his using his gifts, if you will. The why behind it was like people that looked like him, he had a chance to impact. And so just think about that, right? Some of us will keep oscillating this fence of like starting that business, podcast, write a book, or taking a certain job, whatever it might be, because of like values that don't really matter. But what really matters? Like, what are some things that are really heavy that matter to like drive the why behind the work that you do, right? So I like that point.
It's just mixed with stuff. It's like, what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's mixed with a lot of different stuff. So we were like, we just want to do peer-to-peer worship, where it's like, no, it's nothing in it. It just, we going through the same stuff you going through, and we want to show you biblically how to get through that stuff. It's good.
I probably bet that most of you all don't know that I am a rapper. One of the best ways that we can have a positive influence on somebody's dreams, their calling, and their career is through our communication, which is why I rap. You should check out my album PDL Work, which is produced exclusively by Dilly Got It Bumpin'. You can check it out everywhere where music is streaming. It's full of bangers and bars. Check it out.
Me and my rest, hustle culture been feeding me stress, family neglected. My purpose don't come from the work, and give me a check, but that ain't my worth.
So when we first started, I wasn't given the opportunity to speak because I really wasn't, I wasn't really academic like that. I was coming out of high school dropout. I had never really had a skill set that I had honed or anything like that. So I was just passing out flyers, knocking on doors, just letting people know, hey, bro, Jesus is coming. Like, we about to, what I'm saying? Like, we about to get it in on campus every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Right.
And in doing so, the two guys, Irv and Trey, who started with me, they were like Clem that are Clem on campus. So Trey is in the music, he's a chaplain for all kinds of stuff. Irv is the president of the law, whatever. So their schedules kind of conflict sometimes with the ministry. I don't got nothing else. I'm not successful in nothing else. So I'm there 24/7. Like, I'm not missing no Bell Tower Ministries. Yeah. So I got the opportunity to host. And then when they didn't show up, or other speakers didn't show up, I got a chance to speak. And it was electric, man, because I really realized at a very young age that people like my brand of preaching because it wasn't preachy. It was very...
All right, I'm gonna pause there. Listen, bro, he dropped too many, and it kind of it can go over your head a little bit. So think about that. Two ideas, right? He's positioning himself not to be the man, right? He's just positioning himself to serve. Some of us struggle with just like going because we're focused on like, what is the top spot? What does it look like to, the end result of what success? He's been doing this since 92, 91, whatever, early on. But like, his goal wasn't like the brand, the face of like, hey, I want to be the best in the world and be known across the world. It was like, I want to show up. Some of us just need to show up. We're stuck in our dreams, our callings, our careers because we just are not showing up. It takes effort, right? It takes work. So that's one thing and the second thing is this. You saw he got his opportunity when the two leaders that he was following, that he was being mentored by, that he positioned himself underneath, the two leaders that couldn't show up, he took advantage of the opportunity when they weren't there, right? What we have to do and be mindful of, we disqualify ourselves. And so it's kind of two things. We have to show up. And then when we get the opportunity, don't say you ain't qualified. You don't got the credentials. You don't got XYZ to start the podcast, write the book, to start the business, or take their position. Don't disqualify yourself. Like, some of us are stuck because we make ourselves stuck. But if you just listen to what he just mentioned, like, fam, like, just go and do it. Just keep your head down. Just do it. Like, step up and do it. Right. So hopefully that sits well with folks, man.
Too many of us are getting stuck in our dreams, our callings, and career, which is why I wrote this book, Purpose Driven Work. I have over 10 years of experience working as a career development professional, from which is where I write this book. And I've also utilized some biblical principles, but also some career development principles to help us strategically get unstuck in our careers, but also to help us to align purpose in the work that we do. Check it out. You guys can order the book on Amazon or visit my website for a signed copy. Be blessed.
Foot on his leg, I'm coming in high, I'm coming in quick, got what I got, I'm so content, he calling me big, running up chicks, running up, loving that flex, been on that marathon nail, I run at my pace, they loving the spread, foot on his neck.